Finish him. We're about to take it back.
Okay. Talking Loud podcast. As always, Diesel Dog. And guys, we got a great episode planned for y'all today. It's all about maximizing yield, and we got the Budtrainer fam with us to break it all down. Plus, they've got a new product that I think all you guys would want to try in the grow room. But before we get into that, I got to shout out the sponsor of today's episode, Qualitips Germination Booster. You guys can see it up on screen. If you guys are losing all your seedlings, then this is definitely the way to go. The seed starter kits are rocking. The Germination Booster is awesome. Crazy white long tap roots within 24 hours, eliminates viruses, and a whole lot more. So guys, definitely give it a try. Use that discount code THC and snag a discount. Stop losing your seedlings in those new strains, man. I know it sucks, so definitely give it a try. But without further ado, let's welcome the Budtrainer fam onto the show, guys. What's up, boys? How's it going?
Going on? Thanks for having us. It's going great, Matt. How about you, man?
Hell yeah, man. I'm good, man. I'm hanging out. You know, you guys got a new product. I'm super stoked to talk about it with you guys because a lot of people tuning in right now, they probably use solo cups, man. So I have a feeling that today's episode is going to be interesting for quite a few people. But before we even get into all that, guys, just tell me what's been going on. How you guys been doing, man?
Man, we've been fantastic. Of course, just, missing all the Vegas action that you got to get last week. I feel like we have a lot to talk about here on the Bud Cups, but we'd love to hear 2 minutes of what happened in Vegas last week.
I love that you still got a lot of energy. I was watching Northern Scroggers live last night, and he had like the raspiest voice. He had the mic right up to his mouth, and he was still recovering. But you seem like you're like a veteran at that. You seem like back into it already. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. Big ups to everyone that was out there. Shout out to, the whole fam. I think Northern Scrog is actually in the chat right now, and he says, how the fuck does Matt have a voice right now? But it is true, man. Troy was literally raspy at the end of it all, man. It was a great time, honestly, being able to meet up with everyone. Shout out to everyone in the chat right now. All you guys are probably living vicariously through me on Instagram, but that's what I posted all those stories and stuff for, man, to give everyone, the opportunity to just see what's been going on, and that's awesome. So shout out to everyone. Hi again, Mr. Grow It, Rob, CLTV, Wink, AC, everyone, man, the whole fam, the whole squad. It was really nice to meet up with everyone.
Yeah, man, that looked like a party. I actually turned 21 on the flight to Vegas the first time I went with my dad. So definitely a big fan of the city and looking forward to us one day being there. First, maybe as a guest, but then maybe later on as a vendor as well. So with that said, maybe we can jump into the Bud Cups talk. Each you want to?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
let's get straight on into it, man, because a lot of people here have been using solo cups. I actually just seen a Black Forest drop the comment, something wrong with solo cups? Well, it depends on how you look at it. So what I wanted to do to start things off is just show you guys exactly what's up with the Bud Cup. Shout out to the Budtrainer gang. I'm gonna let you guys break down exactly what's going on with these awesome products, man.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity. And hey, there's nothing wrong with the Bud Cups until the red solo cups until the Bud Cups come into play, right? When I was looking at one of these red solo cups one time that I was transplanting, cutting the holes on it, I had some of them that had been used already. And the problem is I had some issues on the roots of those plants. So I knew that even if I tried to wash that red solo cup, some of those pathogens were still going to stick around in those edges and those corners. And right where I cut those holes, I didn't want to risk that coming back into my roots. The other issue is a lot of times, especially when you grow your seedling for maybe a little bit too long inside of the red solo cup, it will start getting root bounded especially at the bottom. And if it has too much water there at the bottom, especially if the water, even when the water comes out through those holes, if it makes its way back up, you start getting some root rot at the bottom, right? So it has some of these issues that you have to be almost like an experienced grower to be able to look at them, to know what you're doing. But if you're a beginner grower and you're just following someone's instructions, you might actually overlook these things. So with that said, I thought to myself, well, to make it easier to wash, you just have to get rid of the corner, especially the corner at the very bottom here. It's hard to get your hand in there. So if we made a loose bottom that comes off, you could wash the bottom and you could wash the cup. You could get your hand in there. So I went ahead and I 3D printed a cup that does exactly that. And it worked. It had the two parts. It fit one inside of the other, and it washed easily, right? So then I filled that up with soil. I put a seedling in, and 3-4 weeks later, it was time to transplant it. And I was going to do the natural thing, like where you squeeze the sides of the cup and then you put your hand in, like the stem is right between your fingers, right? And then you flip it upside down. But I looked at the bottom and I pushed it with my finger like this. And then what happened was that just like we have over here, what happened with that bottom being loose is the seedling came out just like that. So I didn't have to flip anything around. I didn't have to sides. And as you can see here, this one is just starting to put some roots out. It's still not quite ready to transplant yet. There's some tiny little roots from the top here, but this is even the best part is now you can look at your roots and then just put them back down, leave it for another week. There's no disturbance to them. There's no stress. Whereas if you're massaging them here and pushing them and flipping this upside down and all that soil falling out, you'd have a lot more damage to the roots, right? So this was one of those things I was like, wow, this is actually a lot easier to transplant, and that works. And then came the drainage problem, which I decided to basically raise it by a 1/2 inch from the ground with these feet that they have, so that if there's any water that drips off, it doesn't make its way back up, right? Because these bottom plates here themselves, they have tiny little cutouts around the sides that let that water out. So that wasn't the problem. The problem was the water going back up that the red solo cups will have, right? So we basically solved 3 problems in one. Started off with the cleaning problem and being able to make a reusable pot, because even the pots that are out there that don't have a loose bottom, they are still hard to clean. These ones here then made it easier to transplant, and with the conical bottom that it has and this raised bottom, it makes it such that you'll never get waterlogging, your roots will never rot. And the results from it is when you get 2 plants, one that was grown in a red solo cup and one that was grown in the bud cup, and you pop those root balls out, there is no root bounding at all on the bud cups. There's a lot of root bounding, however, on the red solo cup. So we were very excited about that. And these things that basically came out of nowhere, we were not even aware that this was possible. And then I did some searches on the patent database, the USPTO everywhere, could not find something that had been patented like this. So we went ahead, we filed a provisional patent, which allows us for the next 12 months to file a full patent on this design, which we definitely will now, with the launch being already at almost 40%. And we've only been going for 10 days, right? So with this said, we're super excited. These are really the values here of the bud cups, which is 1, the drainage, 2, the transplanting, 3, the cleaning, and 4, we're making them with 100% recycled materials. You're not going to have to throw these out every single time. I used to go through 50 of these a year, right? Because it's once a week I start a plant. Now I can just reuse my bud cups every time, wash them, and put them in the dishwasher. That's the other thing too. You can just throw them in the dishwasher.
Comment right there, dishwasher safe. Absolutely.
Yes.
The other cool thing that we did with this product launch is we're going to be going straight to market with an injection mold version of it. Whereas our bud clips started off 3D in the marketplace, they weren't quite as strong. So we kind of ended up having that same problem of, waste, right? And yes, we've seen a lot of comments from people during our content who've reused solo cups. One person told me they've reused the same solo cup for 10 years. Wow. Amazing. Don't get me wrong, like hats off to you. That obviously means you take care of your things and you're environmentally conscious. But at the end of the day, this is a beer cup. This is for college guys to go to a keg party, fill them up and get drunk and then toss them out. So it's still a single-use plastic. Can you reuse it? Absolutely. Yeah. Stoners are the best at, turning something into something useful, for example, like Gatorade bongs back in the day. But it's a single-use plastic, whereas this is a food-grade recycled plastic meant to last you a lifetime. You can probably pass this on to your kids when they start taking over your grow.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, man, because I myself have been reusing solo cups for quite some time. Like, you reuse them, you pop the holes in the bottom, but then when you go to use them again, there is that chance that there is some sort of bacteria that can affect your very weak and young seedling. And I've lost a lot of seedlings recently, man. And from that transplanting from the solo cup, to the bigger pot, that is the important stage of life. So I think that you guys, by just you mentioning it earlier, it eliminates that, and I think that's really important, man. So shout out to you guys on that. Can you just touch on that just a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. Actually, if you get one of those, these are two empty ones that we have here. And so the way that we designed these here as well, and there's no holes on them. There's nothing that can actually trap bacteria. In fact, the little cutouts on the sides, as you can see, they're very small.
Dope.
And it's very easy to just get here with your regular dish brush. Or when you put it in the dishwasher, there's nothing where they can get stuck on. Even where the plate gets held here, see there's a little lip on the inside. That's where the little plate rests on top. Even that has a round edge here. So if you just come here with a brush and you just using your fingers, you wash it off like that. And on the outside, same thing with these little feet here. It's really easy to get there and clean them. There's literally nowhere where bacteria can live, where those pathogens could then lay their eggs and then survive for the next grow, where they're just waiting when you put some soil and water and they can proliferate again, right? So this is it just allows people especially ones that grow often, multiple plants, if they have a bad run, they won't pass that, disease on to the next ones.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat right now from Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. You guys recently legalized, but I did want to pull this up on screen right now too, because, triple the drainage. You don't have to go and pop a bunch of holes in the bottom of your pot, but also how those solo cups are inherently shaped. There is a chance that water still stays in there, so you don't want that root rot to occur. So just tell us a little bit about the drainage and those advantages as well, man, because, you really want to get some nice roots in that seedling stage.
100%. Actually, can you scroll down just a little bit on that screen that you have right there? So right there, see, number one, the plate that sits at the bottom is conical. So it has a conical shape like this. We actually have a writing underneath that says this side down so that people don't put it upside down. So number one, the water hits that middle and it automatically goes off to the sides. Number two is where we have these little cutouts that we made on the sides of the cups here. And then number three is being raised by a half an inch from the bottom, such that even if you overwater your plants, that water is not going to make its way back up unless you're really overwatering. It's now overflowing from the bottom plate, right? But the idea is you can water it until you see a tiny little bit of runoff coming out the other end, especially if you're doing cocoa and you always need that runoff right at the end so that you don't oversaturate your media. So you get a little bit of runoff, it's never going to make its way back up like red solo cups will. You're never going to have root bound at the bottom. And that's basically why we call it triple drainage. It's just adding these three different mechanisms of drainage to make sure that nothing stays there.
Yeah, that is fantastic, man. And I love the fact also, that, there's no place for those pathogens to get messed up in there. So just the fact that you can it's dishwasher safe, you can wash it in the dishwasher. I think that's awesome, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't often wash my solo cups. I just take them out, use them, and then put them away and then pull them back out. But washing it is a great idea. So that's a great way to avoid any of those pathogens and build those nice, healthy roots. Because like I said, I've been struggling a lot with like the seedling stage where those roots look healthy, but then the seedling just, dampens off a lot of the times or dies off. And having you guys be so innovative, I'm seeing in the chat right now, 93 Deluxe says definitely pretty innovative. So shout out to you guys on that, man.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like you, Matt. Like I don't want to say I'm lazy, but I like to, if it can be easier, I want to make it easier, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a solo cup and it's flat on your tray, there's a good chance you have a riser for your pot. But how many people have tiny little risers for their solo cups, right?
Exactly.
So whenever you're watering, let's say you're doing a big batch of seedlings and you've got 20 or 25, you want to water those all at once. Are you really going to take that bottom tray out once all that wash through goes down there and it's just sitting in that? Or if you rather have a bud cup, you can fill them all up and then walk away and you forget about it, right? Because I always did that with my 2x2. Fill up a solo cup, that whole tray would fill up with water. The next day I would come back and there was no water left. Well, where do you think that went? Some of it got evaporated, but some also went right back up into those roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I got you, man. And you guys are literally spot on. And of course, we're going to do a giveaway as we always do, So what we want to do right now is get that giveaway started. What I'm going to do is put up on screen right now what you guys need to do to enter that giveaway. It's going to be really simple. All you need to do is enter that hashtag BudCup into the chat, and you guys will be entered. And it'll collect the comments. You don't need to do anything else. Wait, let me just add the S at the end of that. You don't need to do multiple entries, but just add the hashtag BudCup in the chat, and you guys will be entered. Now, I've seen some really interesting comments that come up, and I want to get you guys' take on it, because where is it? I think I seen someone say that it would be pretty cool to have clear cups so that you guys can see the root development. Shout out to Roy. And someone else also says that the clear cups are probably not a good idea simply because they don't like the light. So maybe something that can be removable. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's those are some great opinions there. And the one cool thing about the transparent cup is that you can see the root development. They come right through. On the other side, transparent means that light goes through it. And when light goes through it, and there's basically a very limited amount of oxygen around it, you're going to get algae forming there. So you're going to get a lot of that green algae on the outside of your roots, and that isn't necessarily good either, right? So with that said, we prefer a color that blocks all of the light versus a color that lets the light through. Now, we have had people suggesting different colors on the Bud Cups, and that's something that we will offer. And we're actually going to be putting out a poll, I think tomorrow or the day after, about whether we should make them in black. Black is pretty much a global color for pots. A lot of pots are just black. It's such an easy color. It's it doesn't show any dirt on it, right? So I think black is going to be definitely our next bet. And when they're really popular, we will open it to different colors, maybe, a green, maybe a red. But to start with, we want to do the yellow, potentially the black one, which if anybody has an opinion right now, would love to hear your opinion on whether you'd prefer a black or a yellow one. And on that note too, guys, right now, the Bud Cups, they're not quite ready for delivery yet. So if you were to purchase them today, they're not going to be delivered right away. Now these are 3D printed units. We made it actually with this 3D printer right beside Curtis here. And these are already working, but we're making the mold so that they can be made just like the Bud clips are. We used to have the Bud clips 3D printed like this one here in my hand, and then we made them injection molded, which is nice and smooth and lasts forever. Same thing with these cups. However, instead of selling them 3D printed, like we started doing with the clips, we decided to just skip straight to the mold and instead go on Indiegogo, which is that platform that Matt was showing there, where you can pre-purchase them, pre-order them for a huge discount that we're giving. Budtrainer never gives 20% discounts apart from 420 once a year. So these are really big discounts here. If you get more than one, you get even more than 20% off. And then we're going to be shipping them in April 2024, just in time for you to start your seeds for springtime. We're now actually making the mold for them already. We're going to be manufacturing them in January, February, packaging them in March, shipping them to you in April, so that we can all start our seeds April 20, ready for the spring season.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. I love that, man. You guys are so innovative. And like I said, guys, and like my homie said over there, you guys can see up on screen right now, there's a lot of different things you guys can get when it comes to it. So I got it up on the side. So home gardener, you can grab 4-pack, you can grab intermediate. And I seen like the biggest pack is already sold out, the super early bird 4-pack. And that's 100 people out of 100 people have already claimed that. So don't snooze. Check it out. See what's going on. Head on over there. And, of course, give them a follow on all the socials.
Shout out to Norma G, too, for putting that link in the chat. Appreciate you, Norma. Always get tons of love from Norma G. So,
of course,
absolutely. Yeah, much appreciated. And I actually saw another comment a while earlier in the show that somebody said they used the Budtrainer training method and got 14 ounces out of 2 plants.
Oh, wow. That's
great. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about maximizing yields while we're here.
Yeah. So let's get into that real quick, because I know you guys have got like a time schedule. So what we're going to do is just pivot real quickly while you guys are entering into that giveaway. And we're going to talk about that, maximizing your yield using those Budtrainer clips, because I've seen the proof in the pudding, guys. But tell us a little bit about the clips, man. When do you guys start using it? How do you guys use it to maximize yield? Do you guys incorporate other training techniques like scrogging and stuff like that? Just go crazy.
Yeah, of course. So the basic principle behind training your plants is that when you train them, when you bend your branches to the sides, you expose them to more light exposure and more airflow as well.
Yeah.
Both of which contribute to more photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is what creates your plants. Is really the process that makes them grow and that ultimately creates those sugars, right?
Yeah.
That all of the other animals, including ourselves, will consume. So if you give more airflow and more light exposure to any plant, it's going to grow more. It's like adding more solar panels to your house, right? And adding some fans for it to go through so they don't overheat and get too hot. So that's really what you're doing by training your plant. It's going from that Christmas tree shape, which is really what this little seedling wants to grow into here, right? That naturally growing Christmas tree shape to something that's going to be more of a bushy shape that's going to have all of that light exposure. And instead of one big tall bud and a lot of smaller buds on the sides, you're going to have a much more homogeneous fixed buds that are all the same size and all massive. So for that, we have these products that are actually behind us right here, right in the middle. We have the bud pots, which are basically fabric pots, the thickest you can find in the market. They have a metal wire at the top that makes them rigid so they don't collapse ever, even when you train your plants or when you're filling them. And they have grommets on the tops that you can use with your bud huggers, which you showed there, Matt, in the beginning. So we can use them with your bud huggers or garden ties that you have to tie your branches down, just like that, exactly like it shows over here. So you tie your branches down to the bud pots. And when you can get to the sides of your pots, maybe your plants are a little bit too tall already, you can always use the bud clips, such as on this little plant here. If you wanted to use the bud clips, you always have to, one, get a part of the branch that's very soft still. So this one here, as I'm bending it, I can see with my finger that the bud clip is going to be okay there. So I tested it with my finger first. Now I'm just going to put the bud clip here. And then, as you can see, nice and easy, it's bending that branch. And what it's doing now is, instead of having only this much light exposure, this branch is now off to the side. We're adding maybe an extra 2 or 3 square inches of light exposure to it. That's it. Literally a small difference, but that is going to then speed it up. We add a few more bud clips to it. We're going to add now, 12 square inches of canopy area until eventually we've filled up our entire space and it's time to flower them.
One of the nuances about using the clips and just training in general too is you don't want to be training a branch that's already below your canopy level. So when we actually did a really cool thing this summer with Niagara College, we're going to be doing some content on that, but it was an actual college study with the students at Niagara College on the use of bud clips and the effects on yield. And one of the things that we had to teach the students was, if there's a little tiny branch and your canopy where you want it is up here, this one doesn't need to be trained. But if you have one of your main branches that's kind of poking out of that level, that's the branch you want to use it on. And just on the kind of top 4 to 6 inches of that branch. If you go too low, that part of the stalk structure is probably already, you risk breaking your branches, which isn't the end of the world by any means. It's just going to make the rest of your plant stronger, but probably something you want to avoid if you're doing some training.
Yeah, and we have all of this content on our website. We're actually going to kind of review everything this next year and come up with a bunch of new, better looking content. But all of the bread and butter is right there on budtrainer.com. You just click the Learn tab at the top, and we teach how to use our method, how to do the manifold, the mainline, the low stress training, everything with our products or without our products, whatever you choose to do.
And then we got the Budtrainer method on YouTube now as well.
That's right, on YouTube as well.
That out if you don't mind us doing a quick shout out to the YouTube page.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Big up to you guys. Definitely check them out on YouTube. And like I said, we got the website up on screen. Hit that learn button. You guys can find out how you can use those LST clips, the Budtrainer, Bud Huggers, all the Budtrainer products, man, everything. And I've seen a lot of people in here. Some people said they didn't even know that you guys, the Budtrainer came from you guys. So you guys know now. Definitely check them out. They've got a lot of great stuff going on. And of course, I got to shout out everyone in the chat right now to all you guys showing love. We got Norma G, we got Gru, we got Vern Lunford, we got everyone. Chris McNeese, shout out to the ICANN VIP Bean Club supporting on Patreon. The VIP Bean Club is popping. We got tons of genetics going out this month to all VIPs, so you guys better join up. Mailbox is going to be burning down everywhere, man. And if you don't want to join up, then let's see if you guys win anything on this giveaway, because we got the giveaway tool up now. We got over 100 people entered, so let's roll that dice and see who's going to win something. How many how many winners do you guys think we should pick? 1 or 2?
Well, let's go ahead and pick 2 winners.
Okay, let's do 2. So, guys, hit that like button, because the guys out here are not holding back. We're picking 2 winners, guys. 2 people are going to win some of these bud clips. 2 people are going to win some of these stuff and the bud cups. And it's just going to be an awesome time, man. So let's just see what's going on. Let's roll that dice and let's get it growing on. And by the way, shout out to Growing with the Victor Ramirez, 167 likes and 227 watching. We need to have some more likes on this episode.
And we need everybody in this draw, guys. 227 people. You can get a free set of these bud cups.
Right.
Yeah. All you got to do to enter the draw, guys, is drop that hashtag BudCups in the live chat. That's all. Super easy. So maybe we can give you guys a couple more minutes while I take this one Patreon question. Shout out to everyone supporting on Patreon, man. But no, you guys have mentioned a lot of different training techniques, but in your experience, right, do different cultivars or strains respond differently to specific training methods for increased yields? Have you seen like a difference, like certain plants respond differently to different training methods?
We would love to see that, Matt, and that's unfortunately not something that's out there yet. We hope that as we grow Bud Train into the future and we're able to do more and more studies, we can actually get to that level of specificity about growing. Like do multiple strains and see how they all react to it.
Yeah. I got you. And another Patreon question which came in is, are there specific training techniques for indoor versus outdoor grows? So if you guys are growing outdoors, I think I've seen you guys with some massive scrog frames outdoors. I don't know if it stays outdoors if you guys bring it indoors, but do you guys change your training techniques for outdoors versus indoors?
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's a great question. And in a nutshell, indoors, you're always flowering your plants quite quickly. So you have to train them during the veg stage a lot less than you do outdoors. Outdoors, you have a lot more time to set up your branch structure. And then during the flowering stage, when you flip them, because outdoors, you usually have that time to put on the branch structure, you're going to end up with a lot more flowers, which you do, like you said, have to support somehow, a lot of times with trellis nets. And when you're indoors, while you can support it with a trellis net, while you can scrog it like Northern Scrogger does it, if you have only a single plant, you might not need that trellis net because the buds are tall enough to support themselves. So the main difference is early stage, you get to do a lot more training outdoors. And then during the flowering stage, you have to support your buds a lot more outdoors. Otherwise, they end up a little bit too flimsy.
Absolutely, man. And that's what's up. And like you guys got a lot of knowledge, and Dog Knight says it's like real growers made the pot. So that's exactly what it is. Growers are actually making these stuff for you guys. These people actually grow. They're not just sitting down in a suit and tie somewhere far away from everyone, just trying to rake in cash and don't even smoke or grow. They actually are looking for ways that you guys can level up in the grow room. So shout out to you guys, man. The whole Bud Trainer fam, H, and all you guys are awesome, man. Big love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Now let's get this going. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it. Winner.
Okay, let's do it, man. Let's see who's going to win this. We're going to pick 2 winners. Let's do it. And the first winner is going to be, let's see who wins it. The lucky Lowe's Grows.
Nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lowe's Grows. Big up, man. See, easy does it. All you got to do is drop that hashtag BudCups in the chat and you're entered, dude. Like, is that easy or what? So Lowe's Grows, send me an email to icanthcseedclub@gmail.com and I'm gonna get your information and I'm gonna hook you guys up with the Bud Trainer fam so we can get that sorted out for you guys. Now we got one more prize to give away, guys. So let's do another draw. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling and not play around too much. So we're gonna draw again, and the winner is gonna be the one and only. Who is it gonna be? Let's find out. It is T-Mac.
All right, congrats.
There we go.
We've got our 2 winners for today. That's awesome.
Lowe's Grows. I seen Lowe's Grows in the chat. She's already dropped awesome. So they're in here. They claim their prize. They ain't playing around. Now let's see if T-Mac is in here as well, man. Shout out to T-Mac. Congratulations. Big up. Now, guys, before I actually close off, I just wanted to ask you guys one last thing, because this is another Patreon question. I always got to show love to the Patreon fam, and they're asking, what are the potential downsides, or the risks of doing a lot of training and trying to get those high yields? Is there any risk at all?
Great question. Yeah. Actually, you know what? This is a great question to wrap it up because we have to run, and it's a question that's very important and not usually addressed. Yes, there are risks. You can definitely overtrain your plants. I've definitely done that testing our products. And the problem that a lot of people run into is when you start training your branches to grow off to the sides, using the clips and then bending them over or tying them to the sides of your pots. If you continue doing that into the flowering stage while your flowers are putting on weight, what you start doing, what happens is, because those branches are now sideways, once the weight of the flower starts getting heavy, they start falling off to the sides, and they'll literally start facing all the way down. So once you start flowering your plants, we recommend you stop training altogether, because what's going to happen is your plant now needs to grow in height so that it can support those buds with the branches that you've trained during the veg stage. So we recommend train one time during the veg stage, 1 week before flowering, flower your plants, let them stretch. Then you come and you do a defoliation. You support your buds within one another, or you put your trellis net on to let them put on that weight. So there's definitely risk with overtraining, and we have done that before.
What we do to mitigate that too is, if you do any training and you're about to flip to flower, just give it a couple days to recover, right? We don't need to train or top the day or the day like after, before flowering. But
that's right. Yeah, you don't want to stress them around that flowering switch.
And if you guys have any questions, we always respond to YouTube comments, Instagram, DMs. We're on Twitter now. Email hello@budtrainer.com. H is a teacher by nature. I've taken what he said in a very scientific way and done it the not so scientific way. So we have a couple angles of how we can communicate those lessons to you, and I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So I just got to say, thanks to everyone who tuned in, everyone in the chat. Also got to say happy birthday to Mike K. Happy birthday to Colorado Chris, my homie. I'm going to hit you up. And also, Jay Lewis says his mailbox has been burned down quite a few times. He still hasn't been able to put it out yet. So you guys join the ICANN VIP Bean Club. Definitely mailbox is going to be burned down. But before we close off, guys, for everyone who wants to get in touch with you, find out what you guys got going on, and, just reach out to you guys, ask some questions. Where can they do that, guys?
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and directly hello@budtrainer.com. We have lots of self-serve options for you as well. So if you go to budtrainer.com and hit learn, or go to YouTube and hit our how to train your plants to grow the biggest buds of your life, that'll be a good start for you.
Hell yeah, grow the biggest buds of your life, guys. And on that note, we're going to wrap things up. It was a great show, and we outie, man. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging up with us, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having us. This was a pleasure.
Hell yeah, most definitely. Now, guys, don't forget to hit that like, drop a comment down below, and most importantly, stay high and stay motherfucking fly, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, fam.
Finish him.